Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to be explaining the new engineering project you're going to be working on over the next few weeks. Once again, this is a self-paced project, so you can work at your own pace. To put it really simply, in 3 easy steps, what you're going to do in this project is first, you're going to research a human impact on the environment or climate. You should have already been assigned a human activity in class. If you're not, reach out to me and let me know. Um, but you're going to research that human impact. Then you're going to design a way to solve the problem that's caused by that human activity. Okay. And lastly, you're going to create a presentation about your solution. You'll present to the class in a science fair type format. We'll explain what this will look like later on, but just know there will be judges and they will judge your projects based on a couple different criteria. First off, the judges will decide the winner based on the creativity and the originality of the solution. So is it like a creative idea, or is it just one you've like I've heard about, we've all heard about before? Um, is it realistic? Could it actually be implemented, or is it like an idea that you know just isn't really possible to ever see, but it's an interesting idea? Like, is it realistic or not? And lastly, does it have good scientific reasoning behind the reason for the solution or behind why the solution will work? Right. So creativity, how realistic it is, and the science behind it. Okay. If you do really well on all those things, you might be the winner for your class. The winner will receive a pretty cool prize. Okay. Just like any engineering project, guys, we're going to follow this cycle that we've seen many times before. Um, right. You're going to start by defining the problem. Um, Actually, before you define the problem, first you're going to do some research because you're going to research to find out about the human activity. Like, what is the problem, right? Then you're going to define the specific problem that you want to solve, right? It's really important you define a specific problem and not a general problem, right? The more specific the problem it is, the easier it is to brainstorm and come up with a solution. Then you're going to identify the constraints and the criteria for your design. You're going to brainstorm solutions. You're going to select the most promising solution, prototype it, test it, get feedback on it, change it, iterate it, and then when you're all done, communicate what your final design solution is. It's really important to realize, guys, with this engineering design project, it's different in the Rapid Blood device in some ways. And one way in which is different is that some of you might be designing a device. Some of you might be like building a device that helps do something, right? However, some of you, and I say maybe most of you, are just designing solutions. So like ideas for how you could address the problem, right? So your prototype right here, instead of it might be building a device. However, it might also be like um, really elaborating on the idea that you have and coming up with a way to present it. When you test it, the testing is more just feedback from friends, from family members. You'll get to that in the process later on, but realize like this process will look a little different than Rapid Blood device because most of you probably won't be actually building a device. However, some of you might be. Remember, engineering isn't just about building things; it's also about just designing solutions, ways to solve problems. Sometimes problems are solved by building a device. Other times, problems are solved by coming up with an idea or an advertising campaign, or coming up with the idea to um, design something that's maybe not a device, right? Design something else, right? So there's a lot of different ways you could take this project, but I just want to emphasize the more clearly you can define the problem at the beginning, more clearly you can define the constraints and criteria for success, the easier the whole process will be. And so that's what we're going to go through in this project. What I want to quick do, especially for those of you who might not have been in class when I showed this to you, is quick do a tour of what Google Classroom will look like. Okay, so if you go to Google Classroom, I'm just going to click on my period one because all the classes are the same. Really important. I told everyone who was in class, it's really, instead of staying right here in the Stream tab, instead try to go to the Classwork tab. It's much more organized and a lot easier to do. So instead of being here, click Classwork right here. Once you click there, guys, you're going to see two important headings. At the top, you're going to see the distance learning heading. At the bottom, you're going to see the human impact heading. And there's way more headings below, but we're going to ignore those because they're from past units. These are the only two headings you're going to need: distance learning and human impact. Distance learning things are things you're probably going to refer to every day. This is the step-by-step instructions for your project. This is like your go-to resource. This top thing at the top of the page over the next 3 weeks. Okay. The video. This is where you're obviously viewing this right now. Period one Trello board is where, or period whatever period you are, Trello board is where you can see all 12 steps of the process. You can move your card to show each other and to show me specifically what step of the process you're on. Okay. And then at the end of each class, in the last 5 minutes or so, remember you need to complete this end of class checkout every time. So these 4 things are things you're probably going to reference every single day, with the exception of the video, perhaps, because the video you might get what you need from this video now and not have to revisit it again. But these are the things you have to reference, but none of these things are assignments to turn in. Okay. Whenever I tell you to turn in an assignment, that's always down here. in the numbered assignments, right? Where they're numbered, those are assignments to turn in. For example, the research graphic organizer, the cause and effect graphic organizer, define your engineering question, criterion constraints. There will be a few more assignments added to this that aren't there right now. But what I want to quickly show you guys is this top thing right here. Like I said, it's the most important thing you're going to see on Google Classroom. You're going to reference it all the time. And I really urge you to use this to keep track of where you're at in the project, okay? So directions are at the top. And this says to complete the following steps in order. Make sure to turn in each assignment on Google Classroom once you have completed it. This is how your teacher will monitor your progress. Okay, so Salomon Chevar is on this document right now. Hello to Salom. Okay, so step 1 says choose a human activity. You all should have done this. If for some reason you don't know what human activity are, you don't remember, go to assignment 3 in Google Classroom and it will tell you your topic. If for some reason you didn't get a topic, email me so we can figure it out. Okay. Step 2, you're going to research that human activity. Whatever topic you're giving, you're going to research it. Remember, you can start your research with the article that's linked on assignment 3. However, please don't end your research there. The more research you do, the better your whole project's going to be. So on the front end, do a lot of research. Don't just do the article I gave you. Look at other articles online. Find other elements of this problem, right? For example, if you have the topic water pollution, there's a lot more to it than just dirty water, right? If you start learning about it, you're going to learn about how animals are affected by it, how coral are affected by it, how plants are affected by it. You're going to learn all these different things. And then from that, you can zero in on what problem within that you want to solve, right? Remember, the more specific the problem you're solving, the easier the rest of the engineering process is going to be. So the more research you can do into the specifics, the easier it is to find a specific problem that you want to solve related to your topic. Okay. After you do step 2, then it says step 3, summarize what you researched into the cause and effect graphic organizer at assignment 5. Here in yellow, it says turn in assignment 4 and 5 and get both approved by your teacher. That's really important, guys. Whenever it says to turn something in, that's a grade that's going to go into Skyward. It's all part of the process of this engineering process, right? You're going to go step by step by step all the way down in doing different assignments, completing different activities, until eventually you're going to get to step 12, okay? In step 11, by step 11, you will have designed your solution, you'll have gotten feedback on it, you'll have iterated, you'll have improved it, and you'll have your final solution. Step 11 says you're going to communicate your solution. Super important, guys. You have to create a presentation, but you may not use Google Slides. I want to push your creativity in this project. I don't want you just to do kind of the same old Google Slides presentations you've done before. In your presentation, you should describe the problem that you're trying to solve, the process that you went through to design your solution, and the limitations of your solution. The rubric will be on here for you to consult once you get to this point. There are lots of different ways of ideas I have for how you could present your solution. However, I'm also open to other ideas, so let me know if you want to do something that's not on this list. And lastly, you'll present your solution to the school community in a virtual science fair. More details to come on that. Once you get to this point, look over the rubric then. I'm not going to go over the rubric right now in this video. If you have any questions, please reach out and let me know, guys. But really, this document right here is your go-to document to make sure you've completed everything throughout this project, okay? I hope you have a great start to your project, guys. This is going to be fun. I think you're going to enjoy coming up with a solution, designing it. I'm really excited to see all of myself and Ms. Gober are really excited to see the solutions that you guys come up with to some of these problems. We need people in the next generation, like kids like you, coming up with solutions to these problems, right? Because if you guys don't do it, who's going to do it? I'd like to say my generation will, but it's hard, right? And a lot of times we disappoint ourselves in that regard, right? We need people like you to come up with solutions to these problems, and I'm excited to see what those solutions are. All the best, guys. Please reach out if you have any questions. Bye-bye.